Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today I'm going to tell you 9 small businesses you can start in 2020 and start making some real money. And by the way guys, in 2020, most people say, hey, it's not the right time to start a business. There's a whole pandemic, things are going on, you don't know what's going to happen with the election. And the idea is that, truthfully guys, the best time to start a business is usually when there are a lot of problems going on in the economy. Why? Because basically there are a lot of problems and he's solving, which then when you solve, you basically get paid a lot of money for them. So you want to solve problems when everyone has them. And that's why right now in 2020 is the perfect time to start going out there and solving problems and making some extra money. And by the way guys, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day on YouTube, so make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. And on top of that, also destroying the like button. Now, the very first business I want to talk about is basically a process server. Now, this is one of the craziest jobs and probably one of the most dangerous on this list, but the idea is that it is a good job to actually start making some decent income. By the way, you can make anywhere from $40,000 to $35,000 all the way to $60,000 if you are on the top scale. Now, what exactly do you do here? Have you ever seen, for example, a video when a celebrity, for example, like Tiger, is signing, for example, a shoe, a person hands him a paper, and that's basically to appear in court. And by the way, I have been served in the past before, but it's all good. Like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you're good to go. But the idea is that these people are in charge of serving you documents, legal documents, letting you know, hey, you're being sued or you have to appear in court. And legally, that person then has to go to court and has to appear because basically they were served and made aware of what was actually going on. And that job is pretty dangerous because you don't know who you're going to meet, but just make sure. And by the way, yes, you can wear disguises, which is pretty awesome, but just make sure you're very nice, cordial, and most importantly, not memorable whatsoever. You don't want anyone that you serve papers to remember you. So be very cordial, very fast, very quickly, act, and then leave. You bounce. That's it. But it's a decent job and can make you a lot of money. And guess what? 2020, there will be some people getting served with a lot of papers. Now, business number 2, start a collection agency. Now, what happens when an individual or a company doesn't pay their bills or, for example, their debt? Well, then that debt either goes into collections, that's where you come in, and you basically make a company, a collections company, and you buy that debt from the company for maybe like a nickel on the dollar or 10 cents on the dollar, meaning for every $100, you're buying it for maybe like $5 or $10, not that much money, and then you go out there and you collect that debt and you make all that profit. And I also know people don't like these people, but in reality, they're just doing their job and trying to collect the money and then basically help you with your whole debt situation. So in a way, they're helping themselves, but at the same time, also helping you. And yes, you will need licenses and also to join an association in your state. So before you try to start this off, make sure you have all the paperwork correct. So I recommend go to a CPA and also a lawyer to help you out. Or for example, just go to Google and find out exactly what's required to do this in your state. And now, business number 3, a V.A Agency. Now, this basically stands for Virtual Assistant Agency. Now, with everyone now going, for example, into home working from home, and companies basically not really needing so many employees these days because basically a lot of people are gonna fire, let's be honest here. Well, a lot of jobs can basically be outsourced to a virtual assistant either in the US or, for example, outside of the US to answer emails, make contact, make appointments, all that stuff. And the idea is, if you have your own VA agency, you get the best group of people that you possibly know by basically testing them, and then you form an agency and you go to companies and say, hey, I can offer you this service for half the price of what you're actually paying your employee. And then that's a cool way for you to actually make some money. And by the way, you get a percentage of all the work that VA agent does. So basically, you make the connection, but still get paid over and over and over for all that work that VA actually does. Number 4, a resume writer. Now, I just read today that around 25 to 30,000 people got laid off from airlines. Now, what happens when people are basically losing a ton of jobs, right? Eventually, they have to go back into the job market. Eventually, they will need a new resume. So here is where you actually come in. You can charge, for example, by the way, you can actually make a multi-service business. For example, hey, I'll help you with a resume. I'll help you apply for jobs, I'll help you with an interview, and on top of that, I'll also help you negotiating for a better salary. So if you can offer all of these 4 things right here, people will hire you, appreciate you, and basically you're helping someone get a good job, also a salary raise, but you're also making a decent amount of money. Now, number 5 is a temp agency, or for example, a temporary recruiting agency. Tommy, what do these people do? Well, they're basically a third party to getting companies employees, or for example, contractors. So when I was 20 or 21, actually, I got hired by one of those temp agency or added to the list. And once they found me a job, they put me onto that job. And basically, once I got that job paid me a salary. But I didn't know the temp agency was taking between 12 to 50% of my salary. It doesn't show on your paycheck, by the way. And they basically pocketed all that money. And even when that company wanted to hire me officially, they also had to pay the temp agency a fee. So it's kind of like, hey, I grab individuals that are prepared for a job, I get them a job with a company, I get 12 to 50% of their salary, and if that company wants to hire them, I also get paid money. It's a great way to collect people that are very well trained, get them jobs, and keep getting money passively as long as those people are actually performing their job the correct way. That's a very cool job, very cool idea, but getting 50% of wages to me is also insane, but also very, very profitable, okay? Now, number 6 is actually a home inspector. Now, this is one of those jobs that you will require to go out there, get some training, and also get certified, but you can make around $450 per inspection, or for example, between 58 to 68K on average every single year by being a home inspector. Usually, banks, real estate agents, and also individual people will hire you to do inspections on property. And if you actually want, you can actually be a home inspector and also an appraisal agent. So if you want to be a home inspector, I also recommend looking to an appraisal agent, and that way you can make even more money, which is actually pretty cool. But by the way, guys, it's one of those jobs that pay you a lot of money, and when you're either in a buying market or a seller's market, they always need inspectors, so either way, you're gonna be winning. Now, number 7 is actually a property manager. Now, a property manager is basically in charge of managing a property. So in a way, you're kind of like the landlord, but in reality, you're not, because you don't actually own it, but you are in charge of making sure everything is running correctly. For example, you set the rents, you collect the rents, you make sure you screen the tenants correctly to make sure they're actually good tenants. On top of that, you set the budget for the whole building or the house or the property, whatever it is. And lastly here, you also make sure the property is actually safe and actually maintained, and the tenants are actually taking care of it also. And by the way, Tommy, how much can I make here? Well, on average, you will get paid between 6 to 12% of the gross rents, which is not that bad if you ask me. So for example, if you have maybe 10 properties and they pay you around 20K on average every single month in rent, well, you get to keep 12% of that, which is around $2,400. But if you manage, for example, a whole building that pays you maybe 50K from 50 units, well, 12% of that is around $6,000. And by the way, if you hire a superintendent, you give him an apartment and basically a small salary, well, in reality, they'll take care of the whole building, all the maintenance, and you'll still get a lot of money left over from your cut of the profits when it comes to the rent. So basically, property managers can basically make a lot of money if you do everything correctly and you form the right relationships. Now, number 8 is actually a daycare slash day school. Now, this idea right here, I actually got it from a cousin of mine. And the idea is basically, with everything going on today, where basically kids are being homeschooled because it's actually not an option, but parents still need to go to work, well, why not make a daycare? Well, the kids actually get iPads and basic computers to then go ahead and do their homework, and also have someone who's actually certified help them with their homework, right? So in a way, it's kind of like, hey, a daycare, but also a day school. And that way you can actually get maybe younger teens to kind of come in and take care of all the homework and then basically go back home, whatever it is. But that's a pretty cool way to make some money, especially now in 2020. And by the way, if you guys don't know, to get a daycare, you will need licensing and all that fancy stuff in your state. So make sure you do all the research before you try to make a daycare in your basement, then get found out and then basically go to jail. Okay, so be very, or fined, that's an option too. But be very careful. Do everything legally. That way, you're good to go. Now, number 9, the last one here, is actually a moving company. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys seen the news and also, for example, YouTube videos where people are basically leaving California, New York, and other expensive states to go move to other less expensive states. For example, Texas, for example, Florida, for example, Nevada, also Las Vegas. So with all these people moving, they will need people to make that move a lot easier. And that's where you actually step in. Hey, let me help you move. I have my own company. We'll move everything to wherever you're actually moving to next, and everything is going to be perfect. Now, this is the only business here that has the most potential for growth, but also has the most competition currently, because there are big companies out there that actually manage all this stuff already. So if I were to do this today, I would make friends with basically real estate agents, also property managers, and a lot more people. That way, whenever someone wants to move or basically buy a house, they call me first, and then I go right ahead and move everything in for them. And that way, I build strong relationships. So guys, those are the 9 businesses you can start in 2020 and also 2021 and start making some money. Now, these right here are legit businesses. You can start small, but basically grow them very, very big. Comment down below and let me know which one of these 9 actually had the most ding and actually made you say, hey, that's something I can do. Comment down below, let me know, and maybe we can share some ideas here. And on top of that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you like this video right here, well, like this video. On top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I post a new video. And if you want to basically text me or talk to me, subscribe to my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at TommyBryson. And if you want to watch another video on the top paying trade jobs right now, here's that video right here. Click on. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.